Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I do pray that you guys' week has been filled with blessings. I really hope that it has been everything that you guys have wanted it to be. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you're returning, I just want to say thank you for your constant support. So you guys stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy my video today. To it. The Bible verse we're going to read from today comes from Matthew 6:34, and it reads, "Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." Well, sometimes you guys, it's so easy to, get in our heads and become anxious because, we're worried about, well, how I'm going to pay this bill, or will my paycheck be able to stretch from this pay period to the next pay period. And the Bible verse that, we just read basically tells us to, take everything that's thrown at us a day at a time, because for one, tomorrow isn't promised, and for another, that thing that you're anxious about could have been fabricated inside your mind, and it might not even happen at all. So in today's video, I'm going to kind of talk about how I used to struggle with anxiety, like really bad, and I'm going to talk about how my spirituality it helped me through it. And I really do hope to shine some light on a situation that one of you guys might be going through, and I really do hope that something, at least one point in this video, can help you guys deal with what you might be going through. Okay, so what is anxiety? Anxiety is basically when someone persistently worries and fears about everyday situations. And believe it or not, it's something that is very common. There are like more than 3 million cases in the U.S. per year of people, who are diagnosed with anxiety. And I can recall a time, you guys, that I used to be anxious about, every single thing in my life. It's like I just wanted everything to go right. I just wanted it to be so perfect. And it was to the point that, I began to suffer from migraines, and I would get these migraines all of the time, and I would become so sick, and kind of bedridden. But it would just be me overthinking and, worrying about things that, that were out of my control. But when we worry about things, sometimes we feel like worrying means we care. So if we don't worry, then, that means that we don't care, but that's just not the case. What it really is, it's us being used to, controlling things. And when we finally figure out that we're not in control of our situations, then that can cause us to become uneasy. And, it can cause us to be anxious because, we don't know what to expect. And sometimes, we can get so anxious that we do things out of impulse, even though we know that God might not be leading us down that path. We're so used to controlling things that, you go do something that you might regret later on down the line. Take Abraham from the Bible, for example. Abraham and his wife Sarah. God promised them a child together, but they got so kind of, I guess, ahead. They got ahead of themselves, and maybe even tired of waiting, or impatient to the point where Sarah asked her husband Abraham to sleep with one of her maids. So Abraham, the maid, they slept together and they conceived a son together. But almost instantly after Abraham's wife suggested that, and it happened, she became angry, and she began to hate the maid, even though it was her idea. So that's what I mean about becoming anxious or becoming fearful of the things that you don't understand, and then you just make decisions, and then boom, like you instantly regret it, or later on down the line you regret that decision. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys how I began to take the steps and to, you know, defeating that anxious spirit that was so heavy on me. First off, I submitted myself to God. And what I mean by submitting myself to God, I began to understand that, you know, my ways are not his ways, and that my thoughts are not his thoughts, and that my timing is not his timing. And I began to say, you know, Lord, lead me, and, you know, you guide me, and I trust you. I trust your time, and I trust, you know, the direction and the path that you're leading me down. The next thing that I did was begin to get into my word. You know, what does God say to us in his word about being anxious? And you know that I'm going to leave with you guys, you know, some places in the Bible that can help you when you do become anxious. You know, when you are going through a season where you're uneasy and you're feeling anxious. So some of those places are Philippians 4:6, 1 John 4:18, 1 Peter 3:14, 2 Timothy 1:7, I'm sorry, Isaiah 35:4, Psalms 94:19, 1 Corinthians 7:32. And there are many, many more, you know. But just, you know, open up that Bible and see what God is saying to you about those anxious spirits. It's time for you to get control of that spirit and stop allowing it to control you. And lastly, and this is probably one of the biggest things that I had to do, I had to thank God in advance. I had to thank God even though I was in the middle of, you know, my crisis. I was in the middle of, you know, I felt like I was on edge. I felt so anxious, and I felt kind of like jittery. I don't know how you guys feel when you get anxious, but it makes me like jittery, and I really just can't sit still. I just had to learn how to faith it until I made it. Job 13, 15 through 16 says, though he slay me, yet will I hope in him. So that just means, you know, that praising and thanking God in advance, in spite of your situation, is necessary. You have to praise your way from the beginning of that situation all the way into the end. And even when you make it to the end, you know, it's important to continue to praise God. Don't just go to God when you need him because you're down and out, and then just drop him, and then boom, you get back into a similar situation, and guess what? You're right back where you was at first, trying to seek God. It's important to, you know, just build a personal relationship with him. That's so important, and it's going to be the most important relationship that you guys will ever have. And the things that I'm sharing with you guys, it is not anything that I've heard. It's something that I have personally experienced, and that's why I feel like I can come to you guys and talk to you guys about it, you know, hoping that, you know, God pulling me through my situation can help you figure out how to make it through. Also, that's the end of my video. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys back next week for another video.